name's Chad Frankie, and I just have a huge heart for Youth with a Mission, and I'm so grateful. I served in Youth with a Mission 17 years. I came as a young guy and learning about God's heart for people and for the nations. As I served, I was on mobile ministry teams, I was on discipleship training schools, I worked in different departments, and I started to see the heart God has for individuals, for people, as well as his heart for the whole, the community, the cities. I love that it goes to nations. And when I look at how he's developed my giftings in business and how that heart hasn't changed, that there is an aspect of ministering to the individual and the whole through business. I look at in missions how my wife and I would be praying for milk for our family and food to put on the table, and the faith and finances journey that you have in believing that God's going to provide the income for you to have that plane ticket to Africa, to have that plane ticket to South America, to travel the states and to be able to minister and to have the funds to do it. Well, in business, you put these business plans together, and most individuals will just, hey, if the numbers don't work, I can't do it. Well, the aspect of missions in business that I see is there's a whole aspect of faith that sometimes God speaks something to you, and it's about an obedience factor that you're going to follow what God's said to you no matter what. You're just like you're going to go to Africa because God spoke that to you no matter what, even if you don't understand where the finances are coming from. Those principles, when played out in business, opens doors that only God can open. Same as the individual. When you're sitting there looking at how do I deal with this person's bill, or how they owe me in a transaction, or how to deal with it, God cares about that customer just as much as he does you. It doesn't matter about whether they're paying it or not. It's almost about the circumstances around it and what does God want to do with that. I see how often in missions we would come across conflicts in discipleship, whether with personalities or in work duty workplaces, or when you're in a foreign country, the living conditions. And in those diversities and challenges, God speaks to you and ministers to you and disciples you. It's no different in the workplace, even more so. The challenges in the workplace, the challenges in the marketplace can be so big, and sometimes you even have companies suing each other and different things. But how awesome would it be if that's our open door for God to minister to us? I personally have had several of these workplace encounters. My property manager even have customers coming in having issues with bills, and the next thing they know, they're around the corner having a prayer time because of the needs in their life, and that the finances is just the fruit of situations that they're going through. The marketplace has a huge ministry that's needed right now, and it needs to have business people that are available and willing to be used by God in it, and using that platform of business and that platform and that influence to be able to share what Jesus is doing. I think for me, I've struggled with how there's this concept that you can be a Christian businessman, and all you are is you go to church and you love Jesus and you have a business. Well, I think there's a difference then in actually a missional businessman, somebody that God's developing this in my brain of a person that actually practices these extreme principles in ministry of obedience and sacrifice and faith that you walk in, and you're doing it in that business sphere, that $1 million you got to believe for that development you want to do. It makes no sense, but you know because God spoke it, you're going to do it, and you have no idea how it's going to happen, but you do it anyways because of the obedience you have for God. The people you touch, you have somebody that comes across your path and it doesn't make sense, the challenge they bring before you, or some people even in the chaos of some transaction even threatens legal suit, and you're like, what are you even thinking? And you could get off on the whole legal aspect and what needs to happen, but instead you seek God and you hear God's voice that there's something more going on here, and come to find out this lady's life is transformed and in chaos because her son is almost dying because of an injury, and yet you have a chance to minister to her life because you get on a real personal level, and all of a sudden there's no lawsuits, there's no legal action. This business transaction happens. This has happened in our business place. This is real business, but missions to where you're walking out what God wants to do in people's lives, both on an individual level and on a corporate level, as you are available to be a part of a community and a city, and that's how you reach nations. It's a journey as God just exposes his heart for business, and I hope you're encouraged as you see little pieces of how ministry goes beyond the church walls, beyond even our family, and into the work and marketplace, that you can be a part of reaching out and praying and ministering to the people as you do business deals, as you are a part of the marketplace.